Hey guys, Bruce D Anime here. Hope you're doing well. I know I am, because get to talk about one of my favorite animes of all time, Kuroko no Basket. Before we go any further, sorry about the mask. I had dental surgery recently, so I don't want you guys seeing gums and stuff like that. So that's why I'm wearing it, just to clear up anything like that. I wanted to make this video because, while yes, I could tell you just to watch Kuroko no Basket, I wanted to tell you why it's such a great basketball anime, why it really captures the sport, and why I think the author, Fujimaki Tadadoshi, really captured the essence of what basketball is and what makes it so fascinating. And I think that's important because other great sports anime like a Slam Dunk, or more modern ones maybe like Haikyuu's really popular, Diamond no Ace, even Blue Lock that's still in its manga right now, I think it understands what makes the sport interesting and then plays that up to the umpteenth degree to make those series not just great animes but great animes and mangas for their sport. And what makes basketball interesting? The one-on-ones, the stars, the intensity, the uncertainty. You have the ball in your hands and it's on you to make a play. It is a team sport, but it often heavily relies on a larger-than-life player, a really talented player, to make a play in order for your team to succeed. You know, the ace, right? You always see that term in sports manga, the ace. And I think no other sport really captures that feeling more than Kuroko no Basket. Tadadoshi Fujimaki, he really understands this. I think he had to have played basketball at some point in his life because the anime, like the series itself, really brings basketball to life in a player-to-player perspective. And I think that's because you could have an anime that really just kind of tones it down, keeps it, realistic, right? But Kuroko no Basket really doesn't shy away from the fact that if you get a larger-than-life guy on your team, it can really feel that way. It can really feel like you're going against an insurmountable obstacle when this person is so much better than you, right? And like I said, when you're playing volleyball, like a Haikyuu, for example, all the 6 men on the court on your team need to be in sync. They need to be on the same page or else the play fails. The ball's up in the air, can't touch the ground, right? And in basketball, your team needs to be on the same page, but they need to work together to maximize their star's potential. And I think Tadadoshi understands this and brings it to life in Kuroko no Basket. That's why I think it makes for a great sports anime and possibly one of the best, if not the best. I love Kuroko no Basketball. And I've seen people when it came out, they liked the anime, but when they went to the NBA or real life basketball, it didn't really stack up. They wanted the one-on-ones, they wanted the conversations, the story, the dialogue. And sports does have a story, right? Or else, it would be kind of boring if you didn't have the made-up story, but it's not present, it's not given to you during the match. Whereas in Kuroko no Basket, if you go from basketball to Kuroko, you love Kuroko's basketball. I loved it coming as an NBA fan, because it accentuated the one-on-ones, the conversations, the drama, the rivalries. It really captured all those finer points that make basketball worth watching and just pushed them up into the forefront. He kind of trimmed out the fat. He didn't try to make it a realistic anime. He tried to make it a fun basketball anime, which honestly I think he succeeded. When I say it succeeds with those stars, the characters in Kuroko really are memorable. I really think they stand out, not just visually. They all have the different colored hairs, if you've ever seen pictures of it, or the anime itself. They all have different colored hairs to make them kind of differentiate themselves. But when you watch the anime and you, like I say, you finish it, or you just get to know one or two of the characters, right? You can remember them. You can know their play style, how they are off the court, and when they get on the court, you can tell that their personality matches their playstyle. Aomine, he's aloof, he's freestyle, he does his own thing, and when he's on the court, you give him the ball. You don't hesitate, you don't question, you don't expect him to pass to you. He takes it, and he takes it to the hole with monstrous efficiency, right? And I think that's why it succeeds so much as a basketball anime. It doesn't try to force every team to be the same or to push the same philosophy on every team. It combines different team philosophies into a melting pot of a tournament, right? And I think that's why it as an NBA fan, I love it so much. and I think other NBA fans who are also anime fans really like Kuroko's because it does come across as something that understands why basketball is so fascinating without trying to really appeal to any one style of basketball. It doesn't. It does say teamwork is important. I think that is the message of the anime, but it doesn't. But he does that. Tadashi does that without trying to dampen or cut out the characters completely. They still maintain themselves. I'm talking about Kuroko and Kagami, but they're rivals, right? They maintain themselves. They just edit their playstyle a little bit, or they at least find a way their playstyle can fit in with the team. And that's just something I love about the series is that it factors in personality, it factors in playstyle, it factors in ego, but not to such a degree that you dislike any of the characters. Really, you don't like the Generation of Miracles specifically. I think all have qualities that you like about them, and it keeps you around because you want to see those people interact and face off against each other, and none of them feel unimportant. I think that's another quality that makes it a great basketball anime is because when you're watching, let's take the highest example, the NBA, right? Usually there's one team that you know is gonna win, but you never know what can happen. And every team has an ace. They have players that you want to follow, and you want to see these teams go head to head. With Kuroko, you get that, but you get the added benefit of anime styling where you can focus on those one-on-ones. You can focus on the personalities. You can focus on the tension, which builds drama, but it also adds the added quality of sports storytelling, which I think make a perfect match, is why I think sports anime succeeds so much and why I love it so much. You get the added benefit of both. You get that built-in story from an author, but you get sports which naturally lend themselves to a story, right? Like I mentioned. And I think that with the Generation of Miracles specifically, I know there's a lot of other teams with interesting characters, but I like that every team feels like a main character, right? It feels like Tadashi didn't just say, all right, this is Kuroko and Kagami's story. We're going to make these guys, but we're not going to put the camera on. No, he puts the camera on them multiple times. He wants you to know that these characters have their own thoughts and feelings, right, as you expect of any anime. But he does it in a way that shows they're also putting the time in. They're also practicing. They also have teammates that rely on them and the pressures that come along with that. He doesn't just kind of give you a quick look at them and then throw them away like some sports anime can do, where they show a team, they're an obstacle, they get beat, and they kind of go away. No, you have these lasting rivalries and the bitterness that comes along with losing that plays a factor into these characters who, again, when they are challenged on their thoughts and beliefs as a player, they have to come to grips with either changing or being a loser to stick their ideals. And I think that's why the characters stand out so much, is because they want to cling to themselves, who they are as players, but they're forced to kind of mold that. They're to take a piece of sandpaper to themselves, right? Rough out the edges a little bit to make the best game for themselves possible. Which, that's why I think the characters stand out so much. I think, again, basketball, stars, star players, MVPs, large life characters, I think Tadashi understood that the most, and I think that's why Kuroko basketball stands out so much. Not as just an anime, but a sports anime, right? And I know the stylization, right, of the anime and the manga can turn people off to the fact that, it's not realistic, quote unquote, but it's an anime. You want it to be pleasing to the eye. And why I brought up earlier that I think Tadashi was a player was because when you're on the court, when you're playing a sport, it can be really daunting when you're facing somebody who's so much better than you. They feel larger than life, right? They feel like they can make any shot, like they can do all these crazy things without any effort. Like they're just geniuses and there's nothing you can do to stop them. He really captures those moments and their abilities to do things in a stylistic way. But if you've ever played a sport, or at least you've watched it for long enough, you can realistically expect somebody to make long-range three-pointers if they tried hard enough. Passes through gaps this big, or falling out of bounds and throwing a ball to the ceiling and then going in, right? You can I imagine all those things realistically happening at some point because sports are so unpredictable. And like while I said that they're great manga and anime themselves, right? I don't want to take anything away from that. I really think that Kuroko's basketball is just a great basketball anime on itself. It really stands out as something that gets the idea of basketball, it gets the meaning behind basketball, it gets the passion behind basketball right. And that's why it stands out more than other series that maybe focus on basketball or even just other sports manga. I think it at least stands shoulder to shoulder with those series that are real popular, your Haikyuu, your Diamond No Ace, Slam Dunk Classic. I think it stands shoulder to shoulder with them because it understands itself so well, so it doesn't get bogged down with trying to be something it's not. Right. It wants to be stylish, it wants to be one-on-one, it's do or die, it's heavy personalities, it's egos. And since it understands all that, it doesn't fail as a basketball anime. Actually, it exceeds as a basketball anime and exceeds as an anime and manga in general. One which I highly recommend. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to get my thoughts out. This is a series I love. I plan to cover it more. If you like the video, please hit the like, subscribe button. I got more sports manga content, more shonen content coming out. That's it. Appreciate you guys.